بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. How are you, my students? I hope that you're happy and healthy and ready for today's lesson, which is Unit 1, Speaking. But before we do that, let's open our workbooks, page 84. Please now open your workbook, page 84, exercise G. Complete the conversation with the parentheses from the box. So we have words here in the box. Cheer him up. If you remember what's the meaning of cheer someone up from the conversation before, to cheer someone up, if you remember, to make him feel very good, to make someone feel better. To cheer someone is to make him feel better. Cheer him up, getting to, killer, you blow me away, do you get it? I have a good one to tell you the truth. So all of these in the box, we will be filling in the gaps here, 1, 2, and 3, and so on. So let's read the conversation together. Adnan, hey Fahad. Fahad, what's up Adnan? Adnan, not much. Are you ready to go? It's going to be a game. Not much. Are you ready to go? It's going to be a game. So he's describing the game here. It will be a great game. So what's an adjective here? It means something will be really great. Very good. It's going to be a killer game. It's going to be a really good game. I know. I'm so excited. Wait, where's Ali? I thought he was coming with us. Adnan, nah, Ali didn't feel like going. He's been a bit down lately. He says all the studying is him. So he's been a bit down lately. So when we say someone is feeling down, or as in this conversation, Ali is a bit down, it means that he is a little bit sad. Very good. So he's been a bit down lately. He says all the studying is him. So this is the reason why he is down. All the studying is what? Very good. Is getting to him, affecting him. All the studying is getting to him. Fahad, oh, that's too bad. Maybe we can go and I'll tell him some jokes. So he's planning to tell him some jokes, which means here, maybe we can go and what here? Because he's planning to tell him some jokes. What's he planning to do? Very good. That's too bad. Maybe we can go and cheer him up. I'll tell him some jokes. Adnan, that's a great idea. Fahad, actually, what here? Actually, yes, I have a good one, which means that he has a good joke. I have a good one. Adnan, okay, let's hear it. Fahad, two men are talking. The first man says, my cat has no nose. The second man asked, how does it smell? And the first man replies, terrible. So what do we continue here? I read the joke again. Two men are talking. The first man says, my cat has no nose. The second man is asking, how does it smell? How does it smell things using her nose? That's what he's asking. And the first man replies, terrible. So the joke here is that he misunderstood the word smell by the smell itself, not using the nose, but by the smell itself. So then when he finished the joke, what did he say here? He said, do you get it? Do you understand the joke? He said, yeah, of course, I get it. That was funny. And here he says, Fahad, where do you get these jokes? Yeah, of course, I get it. That was funny. And then he continues, Fahad, where do you get these jokes? So number 6, he says he found the joke funny. So he said, you blow me away, Fahad. Where do you get these jokes? Fahad replies with, of course, to tell you the truth, I look them up in the internet. Adnan, maybe I'd rather not know. Come on, let's go cheer up Ali. So to tell you the truth, to be honest with you, I looked them up on the internet. Then Adnan replied, maybe I'd rather not know. Come on, let's cheer up Ali. Very good. Exercise H here, it will be a reading exercise, which means we'll be reading and also listening to an article. Then we will be answering some questions about this article. So read the article, then match the words and definitions. So we'll be matching words with their definitions. How to write a funny joke. So if you want to write a funny joke, maybe this article will help you. This is the title here. How to write a funny joke. So let's listen to the article and answer the question and match the words with their definitions together. Let's listen.
How to write a funny joke. In order to learn how to write a joke that will make people laugh, you first need to consider what makes a joke funny. One common type of joke is one that shows the irony of a situation. This is when the listener's assumptions about the world are the opposite of the reality in the joke. In addition, you will need to consider your audience. You will get more laughs over different types of jokes with your friends at school than you will with your grandparents. The setup. Setting up your joke is important. The setup should tell the audience who the characters are. Also, if it's relevant, it should tell us where and when the joke is happening. Next, the joke should go on to explain the details of the situation. Be careful not to make your joke too long or too confusing. Keep it simple and stick to the point. Also, effective jokes have easy ways to differentiate the characters, like the first man and the second man, or the father mouse and the young mouse.
So before we continue the article, let's try to analyze it here. In order to learn how to write a joke will make people laugh, you first need to consider what makes a joke funny. So there are some pointers here. One common type of joke is that shows the irony of a situation. This is where the listener's assumptions about the world are the opposite of reality. So this is mean irony, something that is opposite to the reality in the joke. In addition, you need to consider your audience. So telling a joke to your friends is not like telling a joke to your parents or grandparents. So know your audience. Maybe a joke that makes your friends laugh wouldn't make your grandparents laugh, and vice versa also. Some jokes will make your parents laugh and not your friends. So know your audience when you want to tell a joke. Also here, the setup, the setting, the place itself. Setting up your joke is important. The setup should tell the audience who the characters are. So the setups mean the place, the characters, everything in the atmosphere, let's say, of the joke. Also, if it's relevant, it should tell us where and when the joke is happening. So this is the setup, as I said. Next, the joke should go on to explain the details of the situation. So all of these are important pointers how to write a funny joke. Let's continue with the article, the punchline here.
The punchline. The first rule in writing a good joke is that every joke needs a punchline and, more importantly, a punch word to make the audience laugh. The punchline turns the idea of the joke. Suddenly, the audience can see that their assumptions are different than the reality of the situation in the joke. In a well-written joke, the punchline is the last line of the joke, and the punch word is the last word of the punchline. This is important because otherwise people don't know when to laugh. They will start to laugh, but then stop because they will think that the joke is not over yet. Looking at a joke, now let's look at the joke about the parrot that attends a lecture. It's on the first page of Unit 1 of your student book. The joke starts. A student with a parrot on his shoulder leaves a lecture theatre. Another student follows him. This gives us a clear picture of who the characters are: a student, a parrot, and another student, where the characters are, outside a lecture theatre, and when it is taking place, after the lecture.
Also here he's talking about the punchline. The punchline, the first rule in writing a good joke is that every joke needs a punchline, and it says here also a punch word to make the audience laugh. The punchline turns to the idea of the joke. The audience can see their assumptions are different in really different situations. In a well-written joke, the punchline is the last line of the joke, and the punch word is the last word of the line. For example, if you remember the joke about the mouse and the cat, when the mouse started barking at the cat, he said ruff, ruff, and then he told his son, it pays to be bilingual. It pays to be bilingual. So this is the punch line here, the last line. And the punch word here is bilingual. So this is the word that made us laugh at this joke. So the punch line is it pays to be bilingual. And the punch word, the most important word here, is bilingual. Looking at the joke, or looking at a joke, now let's look at a joke about a parrot. So he took an example here about the joke with the parrot, and how did he describe it bit by bit. So now we know there is a student, a parrot, and another student. When he said a student with a parrot on his shoulder, so he's describing the setting here, leaves a lecture theater. Another student follows him. So now we know there are three characters, two students and a parrot, where the characters are outside the lecture theater and when it's taking place after the lecture. Let's continue here. The joke continues. Let's listen together.
The joke continues. He stops him and says, I'm sorry to bother you, but I have to say, I was astonished by your parrot's remarkable reaction to the lecture on ancient history. He seemed frightened at the frightening parts, sad at the depressing parts, fascinated at the interesting parts, and amused at the funny parts. I could have sworn I even heard it laugh. I have to say, I was amazed. Don't you find it surprising? Yes, he replies, I was very surprised. This is the body of the joke. It explains what has happened. The parrot was listening to the lecture and seemed to understand it. It also gives us a clear picture of the other student's assumption, which is likely shared by the audience, that parrots shouldn't be able to understand lectures. The student's question, don't you find it surprising, indicates that he assumes the student with the parrot will agree with him, and when he says I was very surprised, it seems to be confirmed. The joke finishes. He hated the class. He hated the class is the punch line, and class is the punch word. By mention of the word class, the audience knows that the parrot can attend class, and the student thinks it's normal. This juxtaposes the assumption of the listener with the reality of the situation, which in turn makes the audience laugh.
So now that we have listened to the whole article, let's connect the definitions with their words. Let's match them together. The first one is irony. The word irony. I've answered this one already 2 minutes ago, if you remember. What is the definition of irony here? So it's, of course, the letter B. Of course, letter B. When the reality is the opposite of the meaning. When the reality is the opposite of the meaning of what is written. Number two, assumption. Assumption. What does it mean? Assumption, the word assumption. Where's the definition? So assumption goes with the letter, very good, with the letter C. Guess. To assume something is to guess. Assumption means to guess. What about three? Audience. Audience. When we said know your audience, know who is listening and laughing to your joke. So I think this is an easy one here. Audience is the letter E. People that are listening and or watching. So the audience, the people who are listening or watching. Stick to the point. Stick to the point. So when you're discussing with anyone, you say, please stick to the point. So what does it mean? Yes, of course, it means to stay on topic. Don't stray away from the topic. Stay on topic. Number five, indicate. Number five, indicate. I think this is an easy one. It goes with the letter A. Be a sign of something. A sign of something, like a hint or something like that. So to indicate is to be a sign of. Last one, juxtapose. So juxtapose means, of course, the letter D, put beside or contrast. So juxtapose, it means to put beside or contrast. If you remember on our previous lesson, Islam encourages smiling and moderate laughter. We took two hadiths. For example, the two following hadith indicate the virtue of smiling in Islam. The first one here, you're smiling in the face of your brother is a charitable act. This is a hadith. When you smile in your face of your brother, this is a charitable act. The second one here, don't consider anything insignificant out of good things, even if it is that you meet your brother with a cheerful face. So don't consider anything insignificant, even just a little smile in the face of your brother. Everything is countable here. So again, don't consider anything insignificant out of good things, even if it is that you meet your brother with a cheerful face. So smiling, don't take it for granted. We also took the reading strategy to predict things, to predict what will happen next in the writing. Good readers often ask questions mentally in their heads as they read and try to predict what the writer will say next. Then we took this reading article, Laughter Really is the Best Medicine, and we read the whole article, how does laugh affect our health and our mood. Of course, it immediately, as it says here, it's beneficial to affect on our mood. And how is it almost like going to the gym, but it's not an alternative. Also here we took the Dr. Madana Kataria, who instituted the laughing club, the laughter club, to make the health of the members better. And also it has 8,000 laughter clubs in 60 different countries. We also said here that laughter is infectious, and we all agreed with that. So these are today's objectives in the speaking lesson. Use a brainstorming strategy. Use notes as prompts while speaking. So we'll be brainstorming to get some ideas. We'll be using this strategy. Also, we will be taking notes as prompts while speaking. So work in pairs or groups. Work in pairs or groups. Brainstorm. If you remember the meaning of the word brainstorm, so it's just like the word itself. There's a storm in your brain, a storm of ideas. So come up with many ideas until you get the correct idea of your topic here. Again, work in pairs or groups. Brainstorm ways of bringing more laughter into your life. So this is what you will be brainstorming, how to get more laughter into our lives. Try to come up with many ideas, you and your friends brainstorming together until you reach maybe 2 or 3 ideas. Number 2, complete the chart with your notes and use it to help you talk about your ideas in classes. So we have this chart. We will complete it just to help us in our topic here. People and things that make me laugh. Things, jokes, stories, events that I find funny. Things that make my friends laugh. Things that prevent me from laughing. The way I feel when I laugh. What scientists say about laughter. What I think about laughter. So of course, you can fill this chart with how you feel correct, the results of your brainstorming. So there's no right or wrong answer. So the first one I've written, people and things that make me laugh. For example, my brother makes me laugh. He's always telling jokes to me. This is what makes me laugh. Things, jokes, stories, and events that I find funny. For example, knock-knock jokes and stand-up comedy events. This what makes me laugh. Things that make my friends laugh. Things that make my friends laugh. Animal jokes. Some of my friends like animal jokes, just like the rat and the cat and the centipede with the grasshopper, for example. Things that prevent me from laughing. What prevents you from laughing at a joke? what makes you not laugh at a joke. I've written here, when the joke isn't funny or when I don't understand the joke, for example. The way I feel when I laugh, of course, I feel happy, I feel relaxed, I feel in a good mood. What scientists say about laughter, it's good for your health, as the article in our previous lesson. What I think about laughter, of course, that it is the best medicine. So I agree with what the scientists say. So here's a fun fact for you. Becoming a real clown isn't easy, unlike what other people think. Students at the Clown Conservatory in San Francisco study for 1 year to get basic degree in clowning. So you have to study to become a clown. Courses can include acrobatics, dance, mime, circus skills, and hospital clowning. This is what we have learned previously. The program admits only 15 to 20 students each year. Graduates usually go into performance clowning, as in circuses and theaters, or social clowning, as in private parties or hospital work. So it's not an easy task to become a clown and make people laugh. So it's not an easy task. With that, and we reach the end of this lesson. See you next lesson, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم.